You know, ever since I was a kid, I always loved that movie, Vanishing Point. And we all know that Barry Newman passed away about a month ago, May 11th, 2023. And the closest I've got to Barry Newman is what I've got to show you here in my shop.
Nick's Garage is supported by Atlas Equipment and K-Tool International.
Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to my shop. You know, ever since I was a kid, I always loved that movie, Vanishing Point, starring Barry Newman with the nice 1970 Dodge Challenger RT with a 440 Magnum 4-speed car. And you know, ever since I've seen that movie, I was fascinated with that car. And I loved it. And then, you know, years and years later, which finally, I found the car I was looking for 4 years ago. I was looking for a U-Code 4-speed car, Dana 60, the way it was done in the film. Because they had 5 cars, 4 of them were 440 Magnums with a 4-speed, and eventually, one of them was F8 green painted white, Alpine white. And my car was F8 green painted white. It is a 4-speed car from the factory, 440 Magnum. And the best part, it is a matching number engine to the car. I built this car, and ever since then, I've been looking for Barry Newman. I was trying to find him. I wanted to meet him, talk to him, get a signature off him, even take him for a ride in my Challenger, or even give him the keys and drive the car the way he did in the movie. But you know what? I never had that chance. And we all know that Barry Newman passed away about a month ago, May 11th, 2023. And the closest I've got to Barry Newman is what I've got to show you here in my shop. You know, since COVID-19, I finished building my Challenger. Then I went on the car shows. I went to Toronto a couple of times. I've been to Pennsylvania. And then, you know, after meeting so many people, they all knew that I had built a Kowalski Challenger. Everybody knew me as Kowalski, the Challenger guy, or the Mopar guy, or whatever. A lot of people were interested in buying my car. Other people were calling me, they had some gifts for me. Then I said, you know what, after Motorama, I went down to the Pennsylvania, which was the Chrysler's at Carlisle. And of course, I put my car on display. And within a few minutes, now that I got to know his name is Kevin, who's showing up with another Vanishing Challenger with a friend of his that pulled up right beside where my car was on display in Carlisle and came out, and him and his buddy were taking pictures of my car. And I told him, you got a beautiful Vanishing Point car. And I don't remember which one it was. And one of them said, man, you got the real thing. And then later, months later, which I didn't know, Kevin, who also took pictures of my car, was also a friend of Neil down in South Carolina. And let me tell you, Neil was a very interested to hear what Kevin said, because, you know, he said that, you know, I guess he described him the Challenger that I brought down. And Neil, being a Kowalski fan like myself, we finally got in touch with each other. He sent me an email stating, Nick, I got something that you might be interested. He's been saving pictures, posters, and many more things involved with the movie Vanishing Point. I got in contact with him, and you know, we were talking, and he was thinking of selling it. And you know, I gave it time. I was thinking about it, and he had a big collection. And I said to myself, you know, he sent me a lot of pictures, and I said, well, he's got a lot of stuff. I spoke to him, and then we worked out a deal, and of course, I bought all of his memorabilia. And I have to give a special thank you to Neil, because, you know, I know he's put his lifetime into this. I called on my friend Manny to join me. We flew down south, picked up a rental, and then we drove down to Neil's house, and then we went to see all the memorabilia he had. And of course, I picked it all up. You guys, you see it, it's all here. There was so much more, and a lot more than I expected. You know, we got posters here made for the USA, Australia, Spain, Mexico. I was surprised. And he gave me a few die casts. And so many banners, it's unreal. They're all in envelopes. They have the dates, their return addresses, everything. There's so much to go into, so much detail. But you know what? This is the closest I've got to Barry Newman. You know, I've got the Kowalski Challenger. I got, I think, one of the best collections of memorabilia on Barry Newman on the original film. I just don't know where to start. There's a lot of packages to open, and I'd like to share it with you guys. Maybe I'll open up a few of them with you so you guys can take a good view of what's going on. You know, he had other buyers that wanted to buy this stuff, but for some reason, I was the chosen one. Why? Maybe I had the Holy Grail Challenger, Kowalski Challenger. I don't know. Maybe he liked me. I do not know. You know, I never would have collected this in my whole lifetime. You know, this takes a lot of time and passion to go around trying to get this from one country to another. This is a little scrapbook he put together, and he's taken a lot of bits and pieces from the towns near Denver, Colorado, or outside Denver, Colorado. You know, they took pictures of the town where Super Soul was playing in a little building, and this is Super Soul. There's a dog he walked with, and this is all pictures of the little town. This is outside the window where Super Soul was when you look outside the window, and these were the two ladies. I believe they were walking across the street. You gotta give Neil credit. He went after the little places where they were doing the films and asking people that were working there or living there, old articles from newspapers, if they remember the White Challenger getting filmed Vanishing Point in their little town outside of Denver. And this is all details from Vanishing Point, you guys. You know, like, who's gone that far to do that? Only Neil. I don't know anybody else. You know, he's gone out of his way to get all these little clips from home, these little newspaper outlets that put their little articles in the town. Anyways, right here is posters. This is probably, I'm not sure what this would be. Would this be German? Polish? I have no idea. You know, I gotta look them up. Maybe they're written in the back. I'm not so sure. This is Jakiten Monol Ponten. I have no idea what nationality, what language that is. And then I know this one here is German. Now, don't forget, you guys, back in 1971, Germany was West Germany and East Germany. And posters, I have posters here for both sides, communist and democratic. This one is signed. It's got a few signatures there. This was probably a drive-in, double hitter, 2 movies, a Dodge Charger, which was Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, and of course, Barry Newman with Vanishing Point, 3.5 hours of action, and it was both Dodge products. Punto Limited, 0. Sounds Spanish. What nationality is this one? I'm not so sure. I'm gonna have to go through Neil, and we'll see. Then if we go to this one here, it's practically the same banner I have in the shop, except I don't have the names on the bottom. This is the American version. And of course you have Barry Newman and Cleveland Little. Patos Marti. Here's another one. I believe this was an American version also. This one here is made for Australia. Well, that doesn't look like a Challenger to me. You have an English version, and then you have one in Japanese. Check it out. There's a lot to open up. Maybe I'll open up a couple. Here, let me open up one that came in from England. I just want to show you guys. This is very interesting. This is when you go see a movie, Vanishing Point. This is from England. That you have a chance of winning a little British car. Here it is. Mini Clubman, which is made by British Leland. You know, you go see a muscle car movie, the Dodge Challenger, and they're giving away a little mini club. Why did they give away a Challenger? That would have been even better. Then I've got Anthony James, who's also an actor in the movie. I've got a book on him. That was given to me also. I have so many posters here. I mean, it doesn't end. And every poster practically has a story behind it. Yeah, I got a 71 grill. Why? I don't know. And not only did we get posters, I even got vinyl soundtrack records. This is Japanese. There's 2 versions of the English American, one with the script, one without it. There's Barry Newman in the desert with his Challenger. When was the last time you guys seen a record, vinyl record? and it's made by Amos. Okay, and here's another soundtrack, but I believe this one is Japanese. That's what it's got inside. And this was all written in Japanese. Wow. I don't know if this was ever being removed. And of course, in 1975, Barry Newman was on the cover of TV Guide. Yeah, being a lawyer, I believe, in the movie Lawyer, Petrocelli. Yeah, that's Barry Newman, 1975, you guys. And there's some more here. Here's another. This one is from Mexico. I gotta be very careful here because this paper is very old, it's very delicate. Here we go. This is the one from Mexico. Hey guys, if you want to know that all these posters are folded like so, are made for the theater out in the front door. So they were up in the front glass of the front entrance of the theaters, and that's what these were made for. They had it in Greek. This one comes from Greece. And for all you Greek guys, all you Greek viewers, I gotta show it to you guys. I never realized that they had it in Greek also. Here it is. San Francisco, ora mi den. This is in Greek. Is this rare or what? Ora mi den is like 0 o'clock. Ora mi den. Like they say in French, point zero. Maybe this is similar. And then of course his destiny was San Francisco. He also gave me a pair of mirrors. The one that was on the driver's door. If you guys would take a good look, I have some black and white photos that people were saying that they used a Camaro mirror on the Kowalski Challenger. Apparently, I think there were two different models. Okay, this is one of them. And I've been looking through a lot of pictures, and this is the mirror that they used. It came from an auto parts. They had 5 cars. They used 5 mirrors, and I believe there were 2 different models. But this one is exactly what they had on some of the Challengers. Don't forget, they used 5 Challengers in the movie. And they had, if you take a good look, there's a screw in the middle. The stuntman wanted a bigger mirror so he could see what was going on in the back. Then the cameraman wanted a view of Kowalski with a bigger mirror, so when you put the camera in the mirror, you can see Kowalski. You know, that's the stories I heard. They could be both wrong, they could be both correct. But it doesn't matter. This is practically the mirror that was used on the car. And the other one's the same thing, you guys. There's a pair. They both go left or right, whatever you wish. So you could use the left or right. It's a universal mirror. Let's take a look at this. I got a book here with some of the scenes, with some pictures. Some of the pictures are behind the scenes, and some are from the film itself. Super Soul. This is when he made his bet just before he left Denver, Colorado. There's some scenes on the highway. This is when he raced and he had an accident. I believe he was driving like a stock car racing. This is when he met the Jaguar on the road. Look at the beating the car took. Thank God they used the Challenger, because I'm going to get to something in a few minutes. You guys are going to freak out. I'll tell you that. I'll save it for the end. Anyways, there's the bulldozers. There are so many. Here, if you guys could take a good look, here's one of the mirrors right here. It's taped up. Look at the screw in the middle, you guys. Look at it, right in the middle. There's Richard Safarian, the director of the film. And these are scenes from the film itself. And of course, Kowalski used to be a police officer. Here he is having changing a tire in the desert, having a flat tire. And we could go on and on and on. There's the hitchhiker, which was not seen on the American version, was seen on it was shown on the British version.
I'm heading for Frisco.
Where?
San Francisco.
I don't know why United States didn't show it on their side, but it became a bigger hit in Britain when they were showing it. And of course, the hitchhiker that he picked up at night, which is the only time you see the car, besides when it left Denver, Colorado, when he picked it up. It is the first time you see the Challenger at night when he picks up this hitchhiker. And check out all the wiring taped on the roof of the car. It is really cool, man. Really cool. Here's his vest. And he had it kept, and he had it in New York City. And I believe this is Junior, the director's, one of the director's son, which was in contact with Neil. That was our connection with Barry Newman and Neil, of course. Without him, I don't think this was possible. This is a beautiful shot, you guys. This is a real scene. And this is a real car. Apparently, the only modifications they've done to the car is put 4 heavy-duty shock absorbers. That's all. And I like the car because of the torsion bar suspension in the front. Look at all the equipment those days, what they used to make a film. And today's, I'm sure the cameras are a lot smaller than they were then. Look at the battery pack. They had on the trailer on the car, the battery packs. Can you believe that? Tow hitch on the Challenger and tow the batteries so they could do their filming. And I believe that's Junior. And he was my contact with Neil. You know, Junior was, he also, like I said, he was in the film with Barry Newman, and he was in contact with Neil. They became friends, and over time, and of course, Junior lived in LA just like Barry Newman did, and he had contacts with him. And without any agents, you know, he knew him and talked to him directly for Neil. And for that reason, we had a good contact, or should I say, Neil had a good contact with Barry Newman because of Junior. Let me tell you guys what's written in the back of this picture. This is Barry Newman. Barry Newman is one of the television's most eligible bachelors, and he plans to stay that way. I've met the right girl 4 or 5 times, he says. So, you know, Barry Newman had a good social life, I see. Good for you, Barry. He looks like a playboy. Yeah, there's a lot of history here. A lot of history. There's one when he's 30 years old. Neil, knowing that I got an 8-track in my Challenger, look what he gave me. A closed package of the soundtrack on 8-track. So I've got the record, vinyl record, and I've also got the 8-track in a closed pack. Now this, I've been looking for a long time. I never did find it. And of course, Neil came by, got it, and now I have it. It's right here. Then he also gave me some magazines. Everything that was involved with Vanishing Point. Every magazine series, Vanishing Point, 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 Vanishing Point. So this movie was pretty popular. You know, maybe maybe it doesn't look popular today, but it was global. It was global. I mean, it just fascinates to me that how far this film has gone. You know, a lot of people don't even know the movie, and a lot of people got on board and watched the film because they were watching me on YouTube, and they saw I built my dream car, and they were saying, Nick, what is a Vanishing Point? What dream car? So when I told them go and look for this video, DVD, look up Vanishing Point, starring Barry Newman, look it up, watch it. It's one of the best films in a car chase movie that I've ever seen. You know, there's a lot of other films, but one of my favorites, and my favorite, of course, is the one from Barry Newman, Vanishing Point. When they drove the car hard, this is a movie, the guys that drove the car very hard. And they had a stunt driver. Barry Newman did a few of his own, but this car went through so much. And of course, you know, when the movie was over, all the 5 cars had to be crushed because, you know, then you can't take them back to Chrysler. They were renting them for $1 a day from Chrysler Corporation. You know, when they were returned back to Chrysler, they were so badly damaged, they said, you know what, crush them all. We don't want any lawsuits. And then, of course, I also got a couple of die casts. Here's one here, Vanishing Point. Here's Vanishing Point with Barry Newman. Neil bought 2 of these cars. He kept one for himself, which I have now, and the other one he had sent over to Barry Newman. So he's got the other one. And then he's also got me this one. This was also made for Vanishing Point with the option list right here. A $5,000 car back in 1970. It just shows you how far Vanishing Point has gone. You know, these posters, you know, after when the movie was over, they were supposed to be destroyed or returned back to the studio that made them. And they're super rare, super rare. Property of National Screen Service Corporation, licensed for use only in connection with the exhibition of the picture at the theater. This material either must be returned or destroyed immediately after use. In other words, this is important documents. Once the movie's over, you got to destroy this or return it back to the studio. This poster was made in a New York agency in New York City. I remember Neil telling me that. And it's twice as big as this one. Twice. It takes 4 sheets to put it together. And don't forget, you guys, these posters are 52 years old. This is very, very interesting. There's so much, you guys. Look, there's more and more, so much of it here. We could be here for hours and hours. And now let me get to the last 2 items that hit me the hardest. This is rare, you guys. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it or heard of it, but I'm going to tell you something. This is a script of Vanishing Point by Cupid Productions. Let me just tell you guys something. If you take a good look, this is a version of 1969. It's got 20 more pages than the version of 1970. But nobody knew this. But the original film, when they wrote the script, they were supposed to use a Ford Galaxy. That is correct, a Ford Galaxy, not a Dodge Challenger, a Ford Galaxy. Here, let me just show you. Here's the original screenplay. This is the first draft, which was done in June 1969 by Cupid Productions. And if you guys would take a good look, which a lot of you guys did not know, no, they were supposed to use the Ford Galaxy. I'm not lying to you. Hold on, let me just find it. I'll show you guys. Here it is. And if you guys don't believe me, here it is. Exterior view, Galaxy. And that we're talking about the car here, driving a Ford Galaxy. First script, or should I say the first draft. That's what it is, the first draft. That was in 1969. Then, with a $1.3 million budget, they made the script 20 pages less, again, by Cupid Productions, okay? Vanishing Point, April 1970. And if you look through it, you guys, all it says is Challenger, Challenger, exterior, Challenger. So, what happened between the first draft and the second draft? Of course, they had to figure out what budget they're going to use. They had to make the film a little bit shorter, but it's 20 pages less. And they went from a Ford Galaxy to a Dodge Challenger. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. I just found out. Is that something special or what? And you know something? To make this movie, using a Ford Galaxy, I don't think was the right car. But using the Dodge Challenger was the car they should have used, and what they did. Because after all, when you're in a police chase, you want a fast muscle car. And that Challenger is where it comes in, not a Ford Galaxy. But you know, after having all these posters, banners, mirrors, the script, diecast, photos, posters, albums, Neil sent a letter to Barry Newman in Los Angeles in 1999 and asked him if he could send him a glove box and have it signed. Barry Newman said, "It's all great. Just send me, it's good, so good, I don't mind. Send me the glove box and I'll have it signed for you." So this is what I wanted. Yes, it's made to Neil, but I wanted that package. This is what I really wanted. You know, a lot of people have a lot of things signed by a lot of people. This is what I wanted. Here it is, you guys. This is something that Barry Newman signed and touched. I will show you a few pictures. Here it is. Best wishes, Neil, Barry, Kowalski, Newman. This is a glove box door of a 1970 Dodge Challenger. And if you guys want to see something else, I'll show you the photos, because Neil sent a marker to write on this glove box and also a camera. And this is to prove that Kowalski did sign this glove box. Okay, so it's not signed to me, it's signed to Neil. But this thing was actually touched and signed by Barry Newman in 1999. Now, how many has he signed? I do not know. I've never seen any of them. But this is one real thing. And then when he sent the glove box, he also sent this letter with 4 questions. So here it is, you guys. If you guys take a good look, he has 4 questions. And one of the questions is, did he have a first name in the movie? And he wrote, no. This is Barry Newman's handwriting. Then he also said, the second question was, what do you think of driving the Challenger? He wrote back, the engine was too powerful for the chassis. Third question, do you know what happened to the Challengers after the movie? They went to mechanic Max Kowalski. Now, who's Max? I'm not so sure. I think he worked with the Chryslers or with the stuntman. I'm not so sure, but I gotta look into that. And question number 4, he asked him, what do you think of the remake of the movie? And this is what he wrote. It sucked. Had nothing to do with Vanishing Point. It was a TV movie. So it was 2 different things completely. And here it is. I answered your questions. My best wishes, Barry Newman, right here. He sounded like a down-to-earth guy. Gentlemen, thank you, Neil, for everything. So this is one package that Barry Newman sent to Neil. And of course, you know, with this whole package put together, I don't know if anyone else has anything like it. And of course, if you guys look at this thing, I said earlier, was touched and signed by Barry Newman. And you know, like I said earlier, I didn't have a chance to meet Barry Newman. I was hoping to meet him one day. I never did. He just passed away a month ago. And I just wanted to say, this is the closest I got to Barry Newman. What more can I ask for? Barry Newman, rest in peace. And now you guys see my whole collection of Barry Newman and the Kowalski. And of course, my pride and joy, my 1970 Dodge Challenger. And Neil, thank you to you, and I'll be calling you soon. Thank you again. And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content, and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.